Well, good morning, everybody. I've got Gary joining, and I got Shirley and Ray here.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you, Mike?
I'm good. I'm good.
If it's any consolation, our granddaughter has COVID too.
Oh dear. Well, it's no consolation, but it does.
Well, I know.
It does feel good to have, company, even though I
Yes.
wouldn't wish this on anybody. It's amazing. A lot of people have tested positive this week. I think it's because everybody's testing.
I got a text from her yesterday. Feeling good, Grandma. No energy loss. I'm cleaning my house.
Yeah.
She went all the way to Abu Dhabi and didn't have any problems with COVID. Caught it back here.
Okay.
I'm still wearing my mask.
Me too. Well, I have to. The health unit, once you test positive, I tested positive at home, and then I had some calls to make. I had to let the Army know, because that's the thing. If you test positive, you have to let the adjutant of your regiment know. So I let everybody know, and then they recommended that I go and get a PCR test just to be sure. So I went down to Ray Friel and I got a PCR test, and that came back positive. And then I got a call from a doctor at the Mulford Hospital the very next morning. And she told me what I had to do and what I couldn't do. And then later that afternoon, public health called me, letting me know what I can do and can't do. And what I really appreciated was the fact that they called and I could actually ask a human being questions twice. And then their messaging was the same. So both of them said I had to isolate for 5 days. And then on the 6th day, which was yesterday, I could emerge back into public. And so that's what they said. And for the Army, I have to isolate for 7 days. And on the 8th day, I can reemerge back into public. So that means I'll miss my night at the drill hall on Monday night, which is okay, because I don't want anybody there to be like treating me like I've got some big C on my chest. How's everybody else doing?
Just think, though, if you hadn't had those shots.
Exactly. Yep. That's what I think people miss. The people who are, the anti-vaxxers are saying, oh, well, everybody's still getting it. So what's the point? Well, the point is that we're not, guys like me aren't heading into the ICU taking up a bed that could be used by somebody who's just in a motorcycle accident or whatever, I
had a lady serving me at a drugstore saying, well, I got it. I took it home to my family, but we weren't very sick because it's the new Epicon virus.
Omicron is.
Omicron that doesn't make you very sick. And I said, wait a minute. I said, the reason you're not very sick is because you've had your vaccinations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are missing that message.
I think so too. Yep, I think so too. But having had it, they say it's almost like a fourth booster. It doesn't mean I'm bulletproof, that's for sure. But I'm definitely going to keep wearing a mask for a while anyway. Like I was actually at the grocery store yesterday, and most people were wearing masks. Most people.
Yeah.
And then the ones who weren't, I had to kind of, it was kind of strange, it was like, oh, there's somebody without a mask. And it just took me a minute to kind of realize what time it was, that we were in a time when that was allowed. Anyway, it just felt strange. How was choir the other night, Gary?
We all wore masks.
Yeah.
And I had tested negative after the week before when we had the post call.
Mm-hmm.
So it went very well. We had 6 people.
Yeah.
6 people, I guess. I gather you hear from us this morning, won't you?
Absolutely. Yep. I've already heard it. I got it all.
Hi, everybody.
Put together a video with you guys singing. Hello, Neil. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Good, good,
I
good.
suddenly realized you had a Zoom meeting before church.
Yeah, well, I figured since we're not going to be together this morning, I'd throw one of these things on. Are you back at the museum, Neil?
Yes, I go
Oh, good.
every Wednesday now.
And
I'm going to Victoria in mid-April, and when I get back, I'm going to see if I can't do some work on Friday so I can see some of my buddies that work on Friday.
And what are you working on at the museum now?
I'm still working on a donation from an old friend of mine called Bill Johnson, and his wife has donated all his history books, about 1,200.
Oh gosh.
And I think I've done about I do 3 boxes a week, and that's about 40 books.
Mm. Book donations are
He
kind
had
of
the books.
Oh yeah,
Well,
well, I had Des Morton's collection working on, and he's a good Canadian historian, and so he had lots of books too. But he had some real old ones, and I had difficulty finding evaluations for them, so I had to leave that to the librarian to do the evaluations. Now my biggest thing is scanning pictures, so when I talk to my son Doug, I have photographs for him to look at.
Oh, like old pictures from the house?
But they're pictures of today's set is mostly pictures from trips that Joy and I took.
Mhm.
And,
He'll appreciate that. My mother did
That's a
that.
big job.
oh yeah, well,
Nice job, though.
some of it's big, but some of it's not so big because some of them I already have scanned in, and I have to just bring them down to a place where I would hold on to them.
Do you have slides?
Oh, I cut lots of slides, and I don't know yet what I'm going to do with them.
My mother, one of her projects in the new year was to scan a bunch of slides. So she bought a little gizmo from Amazon, and you just use your phone with it. And so it sort of, you put the slide in the little gizmo, and it lights it up from underneath, and you rest your phone on top of it, and you just take the picture. And she has been scanning like crazy. Hundreds of pictures from the 70s and the early 1980s.
Yeah, well,
And it's been really quite neat.
biggest problem with scanning slides is know which side you're supposed to put down.
Oh, I suppose. Well,
Sometimes you get the opposite picture.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's been kind of neat. I'm glad you're doing it. I really appreciate Mom doing that because she'll put it on, then she uploads them to Google Photos, where she shares the album with us. And so we sit around and we watch them on the TV, and the kids laugh and laugh and laugh at my haircuts over the years. The 1970s decor in the house, all the macrame. And but I remember I had forgotten the couch that we had in our living room back in the 70s, and they had this couch that was sort of this brown plaid kind of couch, but I'll never forget how scratchy it was. I don't remember what it looked like, but I remember it was made out of made out of probably like asbestos and pink insulation because it just felt awful.
Mike, the trick with the kids is they'll laugh at them, but you have to hope that they appreciate them.
They do.
I sent some to my grandchildren. They looked at them and they never saved them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
Fortunately,
have
I
on the
had
cloud.
saved them.
Put them on the cloud. Put them on Google.
Yes,
Google.
I put
Google,
mine in Dropbox.
There you go. And then they're there forever.
Well, my brother doesn't want any pictures at all. They don't
Really?
save anything.
Oh no.
I don't know why, but I try to send them some pictures and don't want them. So I said, okay, I just leave you off my list.
We've got
Well, the story in my family is my grandmother went out to a house after a funeral and people were looking at pictures. Unlike pictures people do, they were laughing. she took umbrage at that and came home and says, nobody's going to laugh at me after I'm dead. And she burned all the pictures.
Oh my
So I have no
gosh!
family pictures of that
Oh,
side of the
no.
family.
That is
Well,
really
and-
strange.
Laughing with them, not at them.
I'm sure they were.
Pardon?
They're laughing with them, not at them.
Oh, I know. I wasn't there. I can't. You know, you can't choose your relatives.
No, that's true.
I found some old black and white pictures. I found one of my mother being at her christening with her mother and father. That's a long time ago, like 1911.
Oh gosh.
Well, I have some derogations, or whatever you call them, going back to the late 1800s.
Oh my gosh.
Now I've got a couple of Dougal ones, the ones on glass.
Hmm.
I don't know how to scan them in yet.
Yeah.
We have I got pictures on the web of my great grandfathers and from Maine, and they're in their Civil War uniforms
Oh.
and blue uniforms, I'll tell you. And they were magistrates in Maine. Somebody did the family tree and put them all online, and it was so interesting to look at these pictures of these guys. So
The only way that I know anything of my grandmother's family was her brothers were merchant marines,
oh, that's
and they're online with their, when they got out, and their pictures are there. So I was able to retrieve those.
My father, in his grief after my mother died, drew all the pictures that my mother had taken away. He destroyed them all. And she had taken a lot of pictures of our first child. So that was too bad, but nothing could be done about that.
No, that's too bad. Well, now once they're scanned and they're on the cloud, they're there forever. And it's vitally important that you share your password information with somebody else in your family, because in case something happens to you, you want them to be able to get them.
Yeah, but I got all these albums here with pictures in, and a lot of them are not a joy in myself. They're like our trip to Antarctica. Lots of pictures of penguins.
Well, there's where you do a good culling.
Yes, I have done.
You don't have to do them all.
Yeah. But I suddenly realized I don't want to call all of them, because I was trying to find the pictures of penguins to show Doug. The one picture I could find of Joy and myself in the Antarctic, you can see the penguins behind us, but you can't, they're not up close.
Mm.
So I found some today that had penguins up close, so I'll send them.
That's fun.
It's a big job, and it takes time. Today I went for a long walk and was back here by 9 o'clock, so I figured I had nothing else to do. So
A little chilly this morning, eh?
it was a bit windy, but I managed to get around. I go down Bathgate across Dunhaig and up on Montreal Road. And yesterday it took me an hour and 10 minutes. Today it only took me an hour. So even
You
with
must
the
have
wind,
been moving a bit quicker.
yeah, must have been. I had my rain cape on, and it kept blowing all over the place.
Yeah.
I should have
Snowing
said,
around.
okay, it's not going to rain on me, because it had started to rain around about 7 o'clock or sprinkle. And I have this plastic rain cape and put that on over all of my warm clothes.
Mhm.
But
Well, we're still a few weeks away for reliably warm weather, I think.
yeah, well, tomorrow I take my car in to get the car, tires changed, and of course it's going to.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Well,
Oh,
wow.
you're going to invite
Well, it
snow.
snowed last night, because I could see on my walk where it it snowed a bit because yesterday it was clear. Today I could see where it had snowed a bit, and had to watch because the pathway was a bit slippery. And with my knee, I don't really need to fall.
No, we don't need you falling. No, that's for sure.
Yeah. Are all those National Geographics on the shelf behind you, Gary?
No, they're reminiscent magazines that I use as a source for when I'm talking to the seniors groups.
Okay, because they look yellow.
They do look like it. There's a light color.
National Geographic did. And
Yeah.
no, all I got right now is a desk behind me that's got boxes of pictures in it, black and white ones that I period like myself in 1945 in Boston, living with my grandparents. While Dad was overseas. So
That's right, because you were born in the States, eh, Neil?
that's right. But I'm
Yeah.
a Canadian citizen now.
Okay. When did you become a Canadian citizen?
Back in the 60s.
Okay. Do you have dual citizenship or just
I
Canadian?
did up to then, but the Americans started to come on wanting to have me wanted to get at my taxes. So
Ah,
I gave up my American citizenship, and it didn't
Wasn't
cost me
worth it.
any money because I had joined the Cameron Highlanders and I had joined RMC. And as far as they were concerned, I was a member of a foreign army, and I got a piece of paper saying that I had rescinded my American citizenship.
well, they don't want you being part of a foreign army. I'll tell you that for sure. We got this big stern sounding email telling us a couple of things. One, we are not to travel to the Ukraine or Russia
Yeah.
as members of the Canadian Forces. And I was like, oh, darn, because that was on my to-do list. But also very, very, very spelled out for you. You're not to go over there and join the Ukrainian army to fight. If you do that, you're in big trouble.
Mercenary.
Exactly. So you can do it, but you have to release. You have to like leave the Canadian army altogether, never to return. That's one. But what the Ukrainians are doing is as soon as you sign up, all these guys who are going over to join their foreign legions, you have to commit the 3 years service in the Ukrainian army. And that it is because it gets around the mercenary rule and protects you under the Geneva Convention, as if that matters to the Russians. But you get conscripted, or you get enrolled into their army, but you have to stay for 3 years, and that protects you as a Ukrainian soldier rather than just somebody who is a non-protected combatant.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. All these emails we get from the army, I bet you half the guys just delete them, and I'm just like, wow, this is interesting. Like, so, but we've got there's lots of ex-Canadian soldiers who are over there. 500 of them. They have their own unit in Ukraine fighting right now, which is solely Canadians.
Yeah.
And we trained
a couple of ships.
Yeah, I know we trained 33,000 Ukrainian soldiers, and it was like some of our guys from the Cameron Highlanders who did it. So I'm kind of proud about that. I kind of feel like there's a connection,
Looks like it's almost time for us to switch over.
It is. Well, good morning, everybody. We're being watched. We're being watched by Pat Osborne and Kathy Perront, and a few other people are watching this little conversation. But everybody, I'm ending it right now so that we can go over and watch the thing I put together for this week. So
Bye for